morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I hope you guys have your coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we are going to go over the news almost every day. And today, the topics are the NFT trading volume on Bitcoin is on a rise. We are also going to go a little bit over the ledger safety debate. We are having huge altcoin news for Chainlink and XRP, and also for Chainlink we have a little bit of charts that imply a very, very high target for the next bull run. And also the Ecomi price is surging, is coming up. We are looking at the chart there, and then we are going to go a little bit over the topic that I made a video about yesterday as well, which is the Apple glasses are delayed. And with that, we are jumping into those Veve news then in the end of the stream as well. But all of that right after the intro. Morning, everyone. I hope we are good here. I have my coffee pot here full of coffee. Feeling good on a Friday morning, so happy Friday to you guys all. Wasn't expecting a live at this time, but let's go. 1 a.m. for me over here. So Smarty Pants, good night to you, and happy to have you here on every of my streams. I think you are in fact the one that has been on all of the live streams of Crypto Morning Coffee so far, if I'm not mistaken. That is good. And we also have Waldo here. Good morning, Waldo, and welcome to the stream. So guys, do me a favor, smash the like button. Thanks for the like. And yeah, with that, I'm going to share my screen so that we can look at some good and not so good news. Just get the right window up here, and then we should be good. Let's go. Okay, there you go. So the first one here, in my opinion, should be that Pepe-themed Bitcoin frogs are becoming the most traded NFT amid Bitcoin Ordinals hype. What you have to understand here is that, why am I bringing this up? Not because I want you to ape into Pepe NFTs or anything else, but first of all, these Ordinals have delivered very high fee rewards to the miners on Bitcoin. So they have even caused a Bitcoin congestion, but that also means that Bitcoin miners are profitable when these fees go up. They make a lot of money. Yeah, and in general, that's already a good thing. But the other thing that is in this trend here is that NFTs are far from dead. If you have the feeling that your NFTs, be it, let's only talk about NFTs that have some kind of underlying value, brand, or anything else. If you have the feeling that your NFTs are somewhat in the gutter with the price, the price is in the toilet, then this should give you some hope, because this is a $2 million trading volume on Ordinals in the past 24 hours. So that is a ton of money. Obviously, nothing compared to the prices on in the last bull run, or the volume in the last bull run of total NFTs. But this is a new category on Bitcoin. So newly launched NFTs. And it has surpassing even prominent collections such as Bored Apes. So we know Bored Apes is also still going down in floors. And yeah, then you have 10,000 unique frog collectibles minted directly on the Bitcoin blockchain. So, and these frog collectibles are now the latest hype. We had apes before. Apparently, every new Bitcoin cycle has now their own animal-themed NFTs on some blockchain, and now it's the Ordinals with a Pepe cross. So there are also some copies of CryptoPunks and so on, but apparently these are the new deal. Okay, good. Then there is another thing that I think is important to talk about, and that's way more serious than Pepe frogs, and that is, let me just get this video on pause here that is running in this article. that Ledger continues to, oh no, I can't close. Ledger continues to defend recovery system. So for everyone who doesn't or who hasn't seen it, Ledger has announced a recovery system for keys, where the keys would be stored, that the seed phrase would be stored in the cloud in three different parts. And obviously, let's say the conservative Bitcoiners or crypto users are not happy about that, because that's not in the sense of the ultra conservative self-custody. Anyways, Ledger now is continuing to defend themselves. So first of all, you don't have to use the service. It's more there to make Ledger more mainstream. But technically speaking, it is and always has been possible to write firmware that facilitates key transaction. They say you have always trusted Ledger not to deploy such firmware, whether you knew it or not, they said on Twitter. So yeah, basically they are going to, they said it, where is it? Where is the part that I saw here? Yeah, so they said it's important to understand that at the end of the day, any hardware wallet solution user chooses to go with will always require that person to trust this developer to build and maintain a secure device to store your assets. And that's somewhat true, although technically that statement is not 100% correct, because the store or the information is stored on the blockchain, which Bitcoin amounts you own. Anyways, the seed phrase though is directly linked to your, let's say, to your hardware wallet, where you are entering your seed phrase, your password, and so on, for recovery, right? And yes, the device management is always with the company. So device management means updates, firmware updates, and so on. So yes, you have to trust them. And I think Ledger is still trustworthy. It's just something that, let's say, crypto conservatives do not like. So people think that it undermines the firm's brief of privacy and security. The optional, and I want to emphasize that it's optional, recovery service would allow users to back up their seed recovery phrase, a random string of words, through encrypting it in fragments with third parties. Users fear that splitting the key between third parties could leave it vulnerable, effectively negating the main purpose of the hardware wallet against other storage options. Ledger has argued that this sort of backup option is in fact popular, as the possibility of assets become irrecoverable simply by mislaying a random set of words could prove a deterrent in investing in crypto. And I think that's true, because if you think not about yourself, who is dealing every day with crypto, but if you're thinking about, let's say, your mom, dad, cousin, whatever, whoever doesn't deal a lot with crypto but wants to get into some Bitcoin, they might be happy about a service like this, because then they don't have to worry, where they have this little paper where they have written all of the seed phrase keywords, and they don't have to worry about having 24 words in the right order in their mind, right? So that's something, in my opinion, which is that is what future customers want. And probably a lot of people have already called Ledger because they lost their seed phrase and have no option to recover. And obviously their support might have gotten some heat for this, and now there could be a lot of crypto lost just because of that. So and Justin Sun here has also here, the founder of Tron, has also defended this as a described Ledger as a reliable partner, and defended this story here. Nico is here. Hey, good morning, Nico. Welcome to the stream. Energy, moin to you as well. Blockchain Andy, hey bro to you as well. Glad to have you guys all here in the stream. Waldo says, as you say, splitting the key is optional. I don't have issues with that aspect, as I am going to opt in. I store my OMI on Ledger, use ERC20. Yeah, me too. I have my OMI on Ledger, my Bitcoin on Ledger. I have used the ledger I've used the ledger not directly, but my VeChain is on Sync. But what else? I have Ethereum on Ledger. So yeah, sometimes I wake up with a little bit sweat on my forehead, thinking, do I still know where the seed phrase is, right? But then I know that I have safely stored it. But not everyone might know this, and also if you are not taking care, you could be losing this. So I think this is an important topic to discuss, and ultimately I think everyone will be fine as long as there are no hacks with Ledger, right? Happy Friday, Energy. Happy Friday to you all, guys. Glad to see you here in the stream discussing these topics with me. The only slight issue I have with Ledger, as it's not open source, but for now I'm okay with that. Yeah, that's a good point. It's not open source, but on the other hand, I think they want to protect their business model, and they are the leader in the market. So I think they need to innovate, because everyone can bring out somewhat of wallet there. Blockchain Andy says, I stopped using a ledger. I'm not happy with this new update. Yeah, it's a possibility, right? So it's a possibility to go to another hardware solution, but ultimately I think Ledger wants to go mainstream. Crypto is about to go mainstream, and there are many people that can. I mean, it's like an entry barrier if you have to do this, right? Yeah, so let's also look a little bit at Bitcoin charts and where are you going in the future. So this is from Only Charts, and it's another view on my view of the current chart. And that is that, so where I have seen this head and shoulders here, which we are going to see in a second as well. So this is the Bitcoin chart in a lower time frame. They are seeing a bull flag, and it's valid, right? So I wanted to give you this other option here to say, this could be let's say a wedge, right? A falling wedge. You have a flagpole, and you might be breaking out in the same manner. So we can see that, although I mean they don't include this upper thing, and with the head and shoulder, it just fits better, right, for Bitcoin. But ultimately, they say Bitcoin still in play, bullish, right? Yeah, and then also we have here stock money lizards. That is one that I wanted to show to you guys as well. The broader picture here, let's say, and this is all the bottom and top moments between support and resistance since the inception of Bitcoin. And they are saying 30K, 31K was not the peak, which is like this little dot here. So in the overall grand scheme of things, Bitcoin has always been bouncing, let's say, between these bands. And yeah, basically they are putting up a target of over 200,000 for Bitcoin, as you can see here. Yeah, and we will see how this plays out. Let's look at the Bitcoin chart before we go into the altcoin news here as well. So what I meant is where they have basically this, I have drawn in this head and showed it before it broke. We talked about here on the stream, everyone who is there every day here, about this bearish retest and then continuing to the downside, which is happening right now, where my target was around this this support line here, 25,000 and a bit. And so far it's playing out. But according to the other one, what they basically did was they drew in some wedge here with this fake out. However, so they see this as a bull flag. The problem that I have with this is whenever you are not including some major move, if that would have gone in here back in the structure, right? Like as a fake out or so, I would agree. But and I'm not the TA specialist, right? There are people with all the FIP extensions and whatever. What's happening is that I at least realize that some of the things that I'm seeing and a creative way of that I'm seeing that it actually happens. So this is why I include this into my live streams, right? to just give another perspective, individual perspective on Bitcoin. Now, another thing for the Bitcoin price is which I also happened to call actually here, was this major trend line on the DXY. So this trend line has 1, 2, and 3 ticks, let's say. And then here it has been broken, found a back test on the support line and broken out. What is it? It's the DXY. What is the DXY? The DXY is the dollar traded against a basket of other currencies in the world, and shows basically if the dollar is getting stronger or weaker with regards to everything else in the world, measured at once, let's say, as a broader definition. So what has happened? The DXY is breaking out, and when the DXY is breaking out, everything, especially risk on assets, is going down. And that's what basically happened here. The breakout was right when Bitcoin lost this head and shoulders there, and now we see a slight red candle. But the question is, if we broke out here and retested, will we come down and just go further here, or will we have a breakout? And my big worry is that this could be somewhat like a double bottom, right? So, and then we would see some extensive bleeding on Bitcoin if that really happened. It could be another dead cat bounce that doesn't come above this one here, not above 105. That would make me extremely happy, because if we just would lose momentum here and come down, then we'll get another big Bitcoin pump. So we are going to monitor this closely, because I hope I'm wrong about this one. We had seen the whole bear market basically of Bitcoin is this extensive pump of the DXY is basically the bear market, the Bitcoin bear market. And then right at in end of October, beginning of November, when we saw the Bitcoin bottom, we lost this trend line here, and boom, we got ourselves a pump and a correction and a pump, right? So it's directly inversely correlated to the DXY, which is why we are constantly looking at what the DXY is doing. And since the DXY is breaking out of this trend line right now, there is an argument for Bitcoin correcting more, right? And if that happens, that also implies that there is more at this phase. Is no matter if Bitcoin pumps hard or corrects hard, altcoins will bleed. The only thing where altcoins go crazy is when Bitcoin goes sideways and slowly but surely profits after a pump go into altcoins. But let's go first with the altcoin news then, when we're already talking about altcoins. And that one is from Ripple, and that is a big one. I hope you can see this now. Ripple launches a CBDC platform for the development of CBDCs and stablecoins. Full service platform allows users seamlessly mint, manage, transact, and redeem CBDC stablecoins. So, with more than 90% of countries exploring development and implementation of central bank digital currencies, so there are like 200 central banks or so, with the exception of, I think, Somalia, which is a failed state, and some other countries that everyone has a central bank, which are all exploring CBDCs right now. As a way to increase financial inclusion and lower the cost and risk of domestic and cross-border payment processes, today Ripple is announcing the Ripple CBDC platform, a frictionless end-to-end solution for central banks, governments, and financial institutions to issue their own central bank digital currency, leveraging the power of the same blockchain technology used on the XRP ledger, XRPL. The enhanced platform will now allow its users to holistically manage and customize the entire lifecycle of fiat-based central bank, digital currency transaction, and distribution. With that, Ripple once again putting themselves into the position to rally hard once the lawsuit is over. And with this also, there is a big interest to get this lawsuit over with the SEC, right? I think Bitcoin looks shaky. We will test 25K. 100% agree with you. Good morning, all. Catch live stream. Finally, good morning to you, Tommy Ski. And good morning to you, Luke. Welcome to another morning live stream. Guys, 15 people in here. Make sure to smash the like button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me a lot. So I would be really happy for you to do that. And if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe. We're going to go online almost every morning, a little bit at different times right now, due to work, due to holiday, and so on. But we are going to find ourselves a good spot here. Now, let's look at the other altcoin in the spotlight, and that is Chainlink. Chainlink is one of my favorite altcoins, also a couple percent of my portfolio is Chainlink. And Coinbase announced that Coinbase Cloud is going to plug into Chainlink Oracle network to improve smart contract reliability. Chainlink's Oracle network will welcome the Coinbase Cloud as a node operator to improve data provision to several blockchain protocols. And as we see here is Coinbase Cloud will leverage its global infrastructure and experience managing blockchain data to bolster the security and reliability of the Chainlink Oracle network. The United States-based cryptocurrency exchange cloud service will operate as the new node operator there. And for that, improve the decentralization of the Web3 ecosystem. So that is interesting. And they are so Coinbase Cloud's infrastructure already includes Ethereum, Solana, Algorand, and Aptos. Chainlink node operators are integral to the network and are responsible for connecting smart contracts on different blockchains to data and systems. So Chainlink is basically bringing data from different nodes from the outside world, from the Web2 world, into the Web3 world onto the blockchains. A prime example for this is decentralized price feeds, which secures an estimate of 22 billion of value locked in decentralized finance protocols, including Synthetics, Aave, Compound, and DYDX. So basically, for example, if you would have a dApp or a solution where you would want to sell, let's say, token-based airplane tickets, and you need the airplane pricing and the schedules and everything from the airports, from outside of Web3, from outside of chains, then you could use an Oracle system like Chainlink to bring this data into your Web3 app, and so to say, data on chain that is not compatible with your protocol, and that's what Chainlink is doing. So this is a big partnership for Chainlink and vice versa, also for Coinbase. Now, with that said, let's look at from only charts here at a price prediction for Chainlink. There is a huge accumulation zone right now, and if we were to break through all those fib extensions, we would read at the 4.2 fib 208 USD per Chainlink token, which is absolutely wild, because right now we are at $6 or so. I always think that these moon targets are over the top, so too much. But what I could see realistically is something a little bit below $100. So let's say like 90, what is this, 92 or something? Yeah, that I could get behind, right? Anyways, I thought that was interesting to see. And they have also made one of these for Cardano, where Cardano would go to 12 USD if as a target, right? But once again, I go with the conservative ones, like around $7, $9, $10 somewhere. We will see. Anyways, let's also look at some NFT news, because this one is something that we have discussed already on the stream, but I want to emphasize once again this blend from Blur, I think it is, this blend NFT lending platform is still getting traction, still getting volume. There is 100,000 ETH total volume for NFT lending. And why am I emphasizing this? Because I think this could be one of these things where we one day receive the bad news that this whole thing is imploding, because that's like you're lending out an NFT and you you get crypto in exchange. And what happens if you default on that loan, right? What happens if people default on that loan, and then someone is just, I don't know, left with a JPEG in their hands? So there could be an issue with this, and I don't know. I can think of like a million ways to abuse the system already. So I think it's more a risk. Let's also talk about what really is important for NFTs, and that's the development of this year, because we all know that NFTs and Metaverse, they are dependent on hardware. And I made a video about this yesterday. If you haven't seen it yet, you should watch out for these news here. You should watch the video, and you should also follow the development in the space closely. Lugadu says, sounds like a death spiral waiting to happen. Yeah, sounds like it. Because, I mean, what's the measured value? How do you... I mean, you could say, I'll give you my Picasso, and I get money in turn of it. And once I give that money back to you, I get that Picasso back, right? But what if the valuation of the Picasso changes over time? Is there an automated contract to get this back once you deposit your money? I think so. But what if you don't deposit the money, right? What if you don't have it, and on the other side, the Picasso is dropping in value? So that's what basically happens in the crypto space as well. But anyways, Apple AR glasses needed to deliver iPhone level performance at 1/10 of the power to prevent overheating. Launch delayed for years. So why is this relevant? Because NFTs are not going to stay your flat monkey JPEG or your flat Pepe ordinal little frog picture. And on Veve, for example, NFTs are 3D collectibles that have sound, that have movement, and that are hopefully one day part of video games, and hopefully one day powered by artificial intelligence. And everyone knows that right now we have to mostly watch these collectibles on our phones, but that's not the goal. The goal is to have something like these glasses to really bring this to life while we are walking through our home, and to have, let's say, an augmented reality layer on top of our homes, which I think many people have this dystopian illusion or dystopian vision of the metaverse, where we all have these big metaverse goggles on our heads, and we cannot see reality anymore. And then we are only we are sitting in our dark apartment full of rubbish, and it's just ugly. And to get rid of this bad and dark world, we have all these headsets and we are plugged in some sort of a matrix, right? That's I think the dystopian vision that many people have of the metaverse. But there is another option to this, and that is that we actually see the world as we see it right now, but we have an extra, and we have some possibilities to do and interact, and artificial intelligence maybe helps us. So, for example, what do I envision there is just that if I want, I can just say, like, I can talk to Siri or Alexa. I can say to my goggles, pull up my calendar, and then you got your calendar in front of your eyes, right? Just as it is a little bit displayed here in the goggle or in the glasses. But what I also want to be able to do is that from my home, that my collectibles, my NFTs are streamed right into my glasses and everyone else's glasses that is coming to my home, right? So there needs to be something that tells, like augmented reality works already with a little box and goggles that you have, that you know more or less calibrated where how your home is mapped, so that I can say, hey goggles, hey glasses, stream, show my collection, enable for everyone, right? So that I can say then, okay, now in my home there is Todd Batman NFT sitting on the shelf. So for that we need this hardware for this to happen. And I think this is there's one more thing. Like every one of you probably that is into Ecomi and Veve have seen the video by Callum Upton, where he is basically saying that the development of Veve is really nothing, and so on. A lot of negative stuff about Ecomi and Veve, but I think there's also some misconception in the understanding what the metaverse is going to be, or at least from my perspective, because I only have an opinion as well, but I'm going to give it to you just to put a counterpoint on what Callum Upton has said. So he's coming very hard from the gaming perspective, and I think many people believe that metaverse is just a virtual reality game that is extended so that brands can go in and people can build in it, and that is a completely VR layer. And I completely disagree. And that is why I think that all of these things like Illuvium and also Terra Virtua and all of these metaverses are not what the metaverse really is. They are just products that are coming out and using some of the parts of what the metaverse is supposed to be in the end. It's like imagine the beginnings of the internet, and then having tech companies like IBM or Microsoft coming out and presenting a server and saying, welcome to our Microsoft internet, right? Welcome to our IBM internet. This is where you launch your website, but you cannot see the websites of the competitor, right? And what is the internet really? The internet is really an infrastructural layer with parameters and defined, let's say, standards where everyone can host everything of content. It is not a product of a specific brand. So there is no Amazon internet, there is no Microsoft internet, no Apple internet. No, there is the internet, and within the internet, all of these people are building. And internet is Web 2.2D. Now, in my opinion, metaverse is going to be as much as the internet, but 3D. You can build in it, and it is more a combination of infrastructure, hardware, and standards that is going to build that metaverse. And it's going to be it's going to be augmented reality instead of virtual reality, in my opinion. There is no way around this being augmented reality, which is why obviously virtual reality is the first thing that is going to come out, because augmented reality is way harder to implement than virtual reality. But let's look at this a little bit more. So therefore, we are needing these glasses. And Blockchain Andy says, I honestly think the metaverse dream is dead in Web3. The technology is not here to make it to the level users want. Ready Player One is what users want, where we are at least 50 years from this. I think, in my opinion, I don't think it's dead. I don't think it's dead, but I think it's going to through an early birth crisis, let's say, right? So this vision that everyone is in this gamified world, as I outlined before, that also these Web3 gaming enthusiasts, or at least gamers, have. I think this vision is dying off right now, and with it, all of the products that have been presented before. Why? Because everyone sees that it's not feasible to live in this type of world. I think we are coming from another angle, and that is such as the internet had, or the smartphone had, several different evolutions to come to where it is, starting by only being able to call someone wireless, which was a huge evolution, right? But it was really clumsy, really big. And I remember I have I've read the headlines of the first smartphones, and it was like, smartphones are only for high-level business people and for criminals, right? So that's what they said. And today everyone is using it. So you could also say that the smartphone is already dead in the water when it was too big because of the battery technology. But maybe there are some AR functionalities that are being used that then evolve into something else that is bigger. So for example, there is one AR technology already being used. Google has brought out a Google Maps functionality where you, with your smartphone, you can put in some cities and some streets the arrows right on the road where you have to walk to get to your final destination, right? And this is an AR layer powered by, let's say, the internet to get somewhere. Now, let's say I would now plug in as a company and be able to do Google Ads within this. So while I'm walking and while I'm seeing this, where I'm getting somewhere which is not really there, I get an advertisement, for example. And that's where it all starts, in my opinion. You need companies to have a constant way of making money in the metaverse or in this augmented reality layer by, for example, advertising, but also by having events. There needs to be something like, for example, take something simple as a creator on the streets, right? That plays music, or that is keeping football in the air, and then people throw money at him and so on. Let's say you could also have some combination of being an artist and having something that only can be seen by virtual reality. Now, he does this to get donations, right? So he is going to do this while people are walking by. He shows up somewhat augmented reality art that he has to power still by his physical body. And then you can just, let's say, click and send him a little fraction of a Bitcoin, right? A Satoshi or so. Throw him a Satoshi. Just some brainstorming here with you guys. So Ready Player One is what users want, but there's no way, and this was clear since the beginning, there's no way to bring Ready Player One in one rollout. There is going to be iterations and back and forth and things that work and things that don't work to bring this on. So let's see what we need to do to get this hardware, because without this hardware, there's no augmented reality metaverse at all. So Apple is preparing right now to present their AR headset on the 5th of June on WWDC. The company's rumored plans with its pair of AR glasses somehow appear to pop up. So we don't know exactly what it will be able to do, but this is the first iteration of a clumsy AR device or AR VR device, right? It is a Herculean task to incorporate cutting-edge hardware into eyewear, especially when that hardware needs to consume power at just 10% of an iPhone's current chip power draw. This and many other reasons are why the AR glasses will take several years to launch. So there you have it, right? Several years, maybe not 50 years, but several years is completely reasonable, right? Mr. K says, blockchain, Andy, I agree. By the way, I get this bigger for you. I agree. I think AR is going to come first with the mass adoption before the real metaverse gets the tech. For sure, Meta has now changed from the metaverse idea to AI. They've spent over 100 billion on their dream and realized the tech isn't there now. Yeah, probably they also thought that metaverse is getting more traction, even though they might have known that there is no way that Facebook Meta is going to roll out a social metaverse space as quickly. I think what these companies fail to see, and also blockchain companies fail to see, is that you cannot, as one company, do everything on your own. You need to have someone develop the hardware like Apple is doing. You have to have someone that is good at blockchain. Someone is good at AI. Someone is good at AAA studios are good at bringing out 3D models and gamification, and maybe using these AI technologies, then using blockchain technologies and so on. And this all needs to integrate together, such as no one would ever come to the conclusion that for being successful in the internet, they have to bring out their own connectivity, their own router, their own optic fiber installation service, their own servers, their own marketplace. No, there is, if you want to host an e-commerce, you have Shopify providing software for e-commerce, you have, let's say, telecom or whoever else to provide you with internet connection. You have Google to provide you with the search engine. You have advertisement specialists to help you with that. So why would you come to the conclusion as Facebook Meta that you can do everything on your own? One of the arguments I made in a video was it says blockchain Andy here, so check out blockchain Andy's videos. If Meta is spending 100 billion and can't make it happen, how are low budget Web3 products with limited budgets and recycled assets from Unity going to do it? Yeah, absolutely right. They have to specialize. If you are not as big, you have to focus and specialize. Have you seen the PlayStation 9 commercial? I think they had the right idea about the metaverse. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, but thanks for letting me know, Hadouken. And by the way, guys, if you enjoyed this discussion and this back and forth on the vision, then smash a like here under the video. It helps the channel a lot. Doesn't cost you anything. Thank you for the like. And let's see here what else, because this is some really good old Veve stuff here. Apple's rumored struggles with AR headset have been in the news on multiple occasions, with the company's top executives and development team at an impasse over its launch timeline. We know that very well. Given the hurdles the company and its employees had to face for the headset, we can only imagine the difficulties faced by these people during the AR glasses development. Well, according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, what we know is just the tip of the iceberg. The new report states that a minimal amount of resources have been allocated towards the AR glasses development, with one employee working on the project claiming that it is hopeless, and the only reason work continues on it is to keep CEO Tim Cook happy. So that is some really good Veve stuff right here. Sometimes you have the feeling that also on the Veveverse or on the search bar or on whatever other Veve feature, one employee is working only one employee developer is working on, and just to keep the Veve fam happy, right? Sup, bro, love the content and watch you on a few lives recently. Thank you, Blockchain Andy. I will back sub to you after the stream. And guys, make sure to check out Blockchain Andy's content. He seems to be well on the, let's say, on the forefront of the current content, and has some really good thoughts here on Metaverse as well. So this could be interesting. The PlayStation 9 commercial came out back in 1999. It's a good watch. So yeah, I haven't seen that yet. So yeah, as we see here, unfortunately, we have to put this in perspective, right? Because you cannot have a company working on the VR glasses to be presented in a couple of weeks and then be finalized and modified and improved, and then at the same time put a lot of resources into something that is further out. So Apple is very likely committing more resources to the AR headset and glasses as we saw them here, in my opinion. Once the technology, there's so much that is needed. If the power consumption of something like that needs to be less, then there is more than only battery technology needed to get AR glasses like this. And also battery technology, they know there is from time to time there is a quantic leap in these technologies, and they know when they commit resources to a product right now, like the VR glasses, that's a safe selling a product which they can sell right now, which is probably working pretty good, which is going to impress the world, and then they can commit resources to the VR ones, right? To the AR ones. So in that sense, also, I've talked about this in the video. Niantic and Capcom are launching this Monster Hunter game in augmented reality, something like Pokemon Go, but with Monster Hunter. And yeah, for a little bit more footage and information about that, check out my latest video where I've presented these news as well. So much to say, though, that Capcom is a brand that has been announced by Veve, by Ecomi and Veve, as you can see here in the Veve Global License announcement from 2020. And David Yu has mentioned Capcom once again in the latest interview, everything of that in my latest video. And as you can see here, Capcom, Monster Hunter, Street Fighter is in this global brand announcement from Veve. So just as a Veve news point here, just watch that PlayStation 9 advert at Veve Hadouken. They are ahead of the curve. Yeah, I will watch it definitely after the stream. Is it this weekend Veve is announcing some generational drop, or what was it they talked about? Been at work for 2 weeks, so haven't been so active. Yeah, so there is a big announcement coming on. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it could be something. As far as I know, it's going to big IP. It be big IP, and we remember when David, you had Astro Boy behind him in that New Zealand NFT interview with Binance New Zealand. Maybe it's that Astro Boy run. Last big IP they hyped up and dropped was Tarzan. I haven't got my hopes up. Yeah, I think it could be Astro Boy. Hadouken. Do I say that right? I said Hadouken, right? Hadouken. Sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, so Capcom here, obviously, as you can see, with big brands. This is the Japanese side. I don't understand anything about that one. So let's go to the US side. But they have some good stuff there with Resident Evil, I think, and yeah, Resident Evil, Monster Hunter, Rise, Sunbreak here, and then the AR one as well. So it would be cool if we got some of these drops there. U part is David you, haha. Okay, so I don't know if I said it right or wrong. You're going to tell me, but it's now, for now we are at head you can. Yeah, then we also got here some quick news right from Veve. Omi Daily Burns posted this one. Anyone think that any of these mints should have been spared from the fire? And that's like current year mints, right? So as you can see here, it's like 2007 to 2024 have been burned. So yeah, I don't know if someone is collecting birthday mints for their children or so, or for themselves, from these stones. But I thought it was funny here. Yeah, and then that's basically it. That's basically it. So guys, let me know what you think is the Veve drop that is going to come up here. I think it could be very soon that they are dropping this. I don't know if David Yu has already teased something in that direction. I'm going to check out quickly. No, they are still all over the Star Wars drop here with the Rancor. By the way, that Rancor looks pretty good, in my opinion. So there we go. So this is the today's Star Wars drop. That here is pretty good. Some sound, as we can hear, and then obviously the internet meme. So we always have seen that things like Pepe, Dogecoin, like memes, do well, and this is the first Akbar meme. It's a trap meme collectible, so that one could be interesting and specific. It's gonna be Nacho Libre. Okay, we will see. I'll go with I think it's Astro Boy. I go with I think it's Astro Boy because of that David, you teased this a while ago on that podcast or on that interview with Binance New Zealand. In the background, it was the only time that he had it there. But then again, sometimes they tease things that didn't come yet. For example, I think we had Banksy tease. We had an announcement, brand announcement for the Little Prince. Nacho. I don't know, man. I'm not good at pronouncing these ones in specific, but yeah, there you go. So guys, yeah, do me the favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these. We are going to go live on Monday again, Monday morning, way earlier than this one because I have a meeting on Monday morning. Hoping that it is announced today. Yep, sure. I hope that as well. And when it is, we are going to tweet about it on Twitter. So make sure to follow me on Twitter as well. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by today's live stream. Appreciate the discussions with all of you. It was a lot of fun. And happy Friday, everyone. It's the freaking weekend. And wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. And see you in the next live stream.